Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're looking at the Razer Hex V2 gaming mouse. This is designed more for the MOBA player, but I found a really great use for it, which I'll get onto in a minute. This features a 16,000 dpi 5G laser sensor. On the side it's got 7 buttons, which are going to be great for you MOBA players out there, and you can customize those to your heart's content to make your life a lot easier for gaming. It's also part of the Razer Chroma range, so you've got 16.8 million colours to choose from to put your own colour style on your mouse. It also features 1000Hz ultra polling with a 1 millisecond response time, and you've also got inter-device colour synchronization, so if you've got other Razer devices you can match the Chroma range up, then their colours will work in sequence. Now quickly going over the box, it's got a really nice matte black and green box. We always see a nice box from Razer products, this one is no exception to that rule. I do like the way that the logo and the picture of the mouse are a gloss, so it just breaks up the design of the box, which is nice. A little fabric strip on the top of the box, which is something a little bit different. On the back of the box there's a little look at the 7 programmable buttons, also showing you the 16,000 dpi laser and also the ergonomics of the mouse. Now also the Razer Naga and the Epic have a very similar style. They're the 12 button versions, and this one is very similar, just with the 7 buttons on the side instead. So opening the box, we're presented with the mouse with the usual quality Razer presentation that we see. Underneath the mouse itself there's a little bit of a note from the CEO. Below that we've got an instruction manual. Then in between that we've got a couple of shiny Razer stickers. Who doesn't like a bit of shiny? So the USB cable on this is a nice braided cable with a gold plated USB connector. This cable is 2.1 meters, which is 7 foot long, so you've got plenty of slack, so you can easily route it around your desk into your PC without having loads spare, or on the odd occasion not having enough. At the very front we've got some hexagonal grills to obviously match the hex. On the right hand side of the mouse there's a grip where your little finger will lay. Then looking on the top of the mouse we've got the 2 buttons which will change your DPI quickly on the fly. Underneath we've got the Zero Acoustic Ultra Slick mouse feet. On the left hand side is where we've got our 7 button mechanical thumb wheel. Now personally for me, when I started using the mouse my thumb would naturally lay on the 4. But since getting used to that I found that I do go more to the centre of the wheel. This may just be where I've got larger hands, that may just be where they naturally sit, but after a while you do get used to it and you put your thumb on the centre rather than one of the buttons. And clearly see that illuminates as well. We'll get onto the RGB in a little bit. Of course we've got the Razer logo on the very top. Now the Hex V2's got a tilt and click scroll wheel, so you can do left and right motions and also the downward press. I found this was great for Premiere Pro to easily go along the timeline. Obviously it's primarily good for gaming, but that was another use I found. Then just below that's the preset DPI buttons, as I've mentioned. Taking a look at the few of the Chroma mouse options we have as a preset with the Synapse software. The first one you've got is reactive, so when you click the mouse it will light up. This has a option to choose of how long the mouse will light for after you either click or press one of the buttons. Secondly we've got the cycle, so it'll go through the entire colour spectrum, which is a nice colour to use when you're not gaming and you don't need something specific. That's nice to just have on your desk cycling through. After that we've got a static colour, so maybe a white would be nice if you're working at night. Just something that's not going to kind of catch your eye line or maybe bug you, just something simple. Then you've also got a slider for the intensity of the brightness, which is a nice little addition. Then we've got the breathing option, so as you can see it will fade to no light at all and then it will fade back up. You also got options for choosing more than one colour as well, so you can alternate between 2. Personally I like to go between white and red. And on the topic of white, usually RGB can struggle to produce white as it's kind of going between the spectrum of colours rather than a white LED itself. The Hex V2 does produce white quite well, considering it's not a purely white LED. Now one thing that's quite cool to just demonstrate the different colours is on the breathing option you can go for a random colour and it will illuminate each section of the mouse individually. Not something that I'd have enabled all the time because it can get a bit distracting, but something that's pretty cool to show you the colours that are available. Okay, so this is the Razer Synapse software. This is where you can set all your colour and all your personal profiles to all your different clicks. So down the left hand side we've got options to set different profiles up. Maybe you want to use one for different games, you can do that here, you can add them on. Also link programs as well, so maybe you wanted to do one for certain games, maybe Fallout you have a profile, GTA 5, etc. You can do that on the left hand side. Then you've got the buttons to change all of your defaults here, and then you can go onto the side view and then change all of the 7 side buttons, which is really cool. Personally, if you are a heavy editor like me, this may be beneficial for you using Premiere Pro, maybe Final Cut, because you could assign these to do different things. So maybe you could have cut, ripple edit, pen for the audio level, all different kind of features you could put on there if you wish. And you've obviously got different banks of those as well, so massive range of customization there. Here you've got all your sensitivities. Now you have got the quick on-the-fly adjustments on the mouse itself, but it's also good to have a kind of manual setting in the software. Again, you can assign that to profiles. Got a polling rate option on there as well. So going on to lighting, these are the presets you get as standard with the mouse. Then personally, I like it full brightness, so that will always go up to the max. It's looking very bright in front of me now, just cycling through. Personally, I like a static colour, so I would generally go for something like a darkish blue. So that's now set. It updates in real time as well, so you don't have to click apply to everything each time. It literally just fades into it on the mouse itself, which is really nice. Then you've also got calibration if you're using one of the Razer mats or anything like that as well. So if you're lifting your mouse off to maybe get a wider tracking range on a game, then you can adjust that there. Now there's a few different things you can do for macros. I'm not really a macro user, but for some of you that may be beneficial. Maybe World of Warcraft, kind of, all those kind of RPG games, that might be something for you can use there. There's also a stats app as well that opens a separate page which shows you stats about your different devices. So when you've been on certain games, it will track your distance, mouse clicks, wheel rotations, profile switches, macros and key maps for your devices on each of those games. If you like to know that information, personally that's something I wouldn't really use, but it's an option should you wish to use it. But yeah, all condensed into this one app, very easy to use. And I'm going to go and actually change my profile. I'm going to put myself a little bit of cycling on for a change. Okay, so onto my own views about the mouse itself. Personally, it did take a little bit of time to get used to it. I've got bigger hands, so that's kind of the main problem. I did find myself, as I mentioned, touching the 4 key on the side of the mouse. After a little while, I did adapt to it and then started to place my hand on it in the right position. The 7 buttons are really great, especially if you're an editor like me. You can program those to special things in Premiere Pro, for example, Final Cut, anything like that. Maybe if you use After Effects, you can tailor it to that. It's kind of the right amount as well, and I do like the center pad to rest your thumb on. The other versions of the Naga that have got, like the 12 buttons, that's personally too much for me, and I'll find myself pressing them inadvertently. So having 7, I think, is a great amount to have, and much more convenient. I do love the illuminations. The colours are bright and vivid, and it really does look great sat under a desk. It's coming in at the higher end of the market for a gaming mouse, but it is on comparison with Logitech and Corsair's offerings for MMO and MOBA mice. So it's all down to you on kind of what you're looking for. Very comfortable to use. I do like the finish on it as well. Doesn't get grease build up very quickly, which is nice as well. I do find after I've been editing for longer periods of time, I do start to get a bit of grease on my hands. I found it's not become gross after a while, so that's a great plus, obviously. One thing to bear in mind is if you take it to a friend's house, you will need to download the Razer Synapse software onto their machine. This doesn't have any onboard memory, so you can't actually store profiles onto the mouse itself. So when you do go to a friend's, for example, you will need to download the Razer Synapse software, then you'll get all your custom profiles back. I do like the way this joins in with the other products in the Chroma range. We'll be taking a look at some of the other Chroma products in the near future. So if you enjoyed this video and you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'll put the links for this down in the description box below if you want to get one for yourself. Thank you for Razer for sending it out for me to review, and I'll catch you all in the next video.